YouTube, what is good? Today we're going to be talking about all things Diamond Dynasty. We just had our first look at Diamond Dynasty for MLB The Show 25. Without wasting any time, let's get right into it and let's see what they're changing and what they cover. So first things first, we all know this already, but they are not including sets and seasons. Sets and seasons is officially dead. They are going back to the old content grind that they used to have, starting with the low overall cards that you have in the beginning of the year, and over time, as the year goes on, your team will eventually develop into that 99 overall team. The best part about this, not even just so much like using the worst cards, but you could finally use whatever cards you want for the entire year if you choose so. The beauty of this is that your squad will now evolve naturally as things just kind of release throughout the year, and that whole mindset of grind to 99 is officially back. Ultimately though, you will finally have that freedom to kind of build and develop your team as the year goes on, and there are going to be no resets, so the guy you get on day one, you could use him at the very last day of the year. Next up is an all-new mode that they're going to be having for offline players for Diamond Dynasty called Diamond Quest. Diamond Quest seems to be more of a strategically based game that they're going to be implementing, and it's kind of like an arcade style baseball with a progressive strategy element. It's just a beautiful combination of the two. So the way this works is that you have a dynamic game board where each run that you do is going to be unique. In these unique runs, you're going to have different fast-paced challenges, you're going to test your skills in different ways, and of course, depending on the difficulty that you play it on, it'll scale the rewards that you would get as well. From the looks of it, it is going to be somewhat of a mixture between Conquest and Showdown, so you're going to have your rare cards to unlock, you're going to have perks, you're going to have those things involved, and the beauty of it is this mode will specifically have exclusive rewards that you cannot get in other modes. In this mode, you're also going to get a thing called Peanuts, where Peanuts is a way to buy perks at what they call Coach's Cart, which is basically its own little shop. But the beauty of this mode is that it's not just going to be the easiest thing in the world. There are going to be penalties that can kind of change your strategy and force you to adapt to different things. And again, I think one of the coolest parts about this mode is that every time you play, the board refreshes, so no two runs will be the same. I'm curious if the challenge is going to be different or if it's just going to be like different players altogether. I'm really interested in seeing what this mode turns into. Next up, we have probably the biggest change, the biggest addition that they're going to be making this year for Diamond Dynasty, and that is that Weekend League is officially in the game. It is going to go by the name of Weekend Classic. It's going to be a new go-to mode for MLB The Show's head-to-head matchups. It's not going to be replacing ranked seasons. It's going to be as a supplement to it, and ultimately, this is going to be the true test of skill for this game. The way it's going to work is that at the end of every ranked season, it's going to run for 4 days, which of course will be the weekend, and it's going to be open to all players no matter what rank you are, and you're actually going to be climbing your ranks as you go along. As you increase your ranked rating, you will qualify for higher divisions, so if you are a World Series player, you will not be playing against players that are in like the 300-400 range. If you're in the 300-400 range, you're not going to be going up against World Series players unless you progress to a point where you're eligible for those divisions. In this mode, you're going to have to go 6-0 for top tier Diamond Dynasty rewards, but as you progress through, the more 6-0s you get, the better the rewards become. Ultimately though, I do think Weekend Classic is going to bring a breath of fresh air to this mode. Not only were we needing a new online mode, but it is going to be a bit more of a competitive scene where if you are still interested in just playing your everyday ranked seasons when the Weekend Classic is going on, I will say that this is going to be something for you because while the other players are playing Weekend Classic, you're able to just play your regular ranked games just as it is. Similarly, if you are into this kind of competitive mode, you could kind of ignore the ranked seasons while this is going on and focus on getting these top tier rewards. Ultimately though, I do think this is best for good players because this gives you a reason to play the game beyond a certain rating. You know, we've had an issue before where unless you were pushing for a top 50 icon, there really wasn't much of a reason to play beyond 900 rating. I do think that this mode will change that. Moving into Team Affinity, Team Affinity is coming back next year for MLB The Show 25. However, they are going to make some changes to it. It looks a lot like it did in MLB The Show 20. So for Team Affinity, it's going to be team-specific tasks that progress you through the program. You get unique rewards tied to the ball clubs that you're kind of using. As the year goes on, live content drops will update the mode, and you'll get fresh challenges and fresh rewards throughout the year. So although this is a little bit of a change to the classic Team Affinity that we've been looking at for the past year or two, this is a bit of a welcoming thing because it's going to slow down that progress just a little bit. Now, the beauty of it is for MLB The Show 25 is that they did confirm that they are now having what's called the multiplayer program. It's basically just what the old innings program was, where all of your separate grinds for ranked, battle royale, and events are now all merged into one unified program. No more are the days where you have to play 100 games of this, 100 games of that, and 100 games of that. It is all just one mode, one thing, one program. In addition to that, the monthly program has now changed a little bit, called the Spotlight program, where you're going to have your weekly drop and then your monthly drop as well for top MLB performers for each time frame. Moving on beyond that, they are adding something new this year called the My Legacy program. I kind of like this because this is something that kind of rewards you for playing the game a lot, and it tracks long-term progress throughout the game, and you earn rewards based off of different milestones, such as however many home runs, however many hits, and things along those lines. The beauty of it is with a lot of these programs coming in, whether you play the game once a week or 7 days a week, you are going to get rewarded for your time, and I think that is ultimately the biggest thing that we need for this game. For quality of life things, we are seeing on-screen milestone tracking and a couple new menus and just kind of in-game visuals that makes the game a little bit more immersive and a little bit better to look at. In this feature premiere, they also did hint that Negro League storylines returning, and they're going to get a new lineup of legends that we're going to have into this game, and as well, they're going to be in Diamond Dynasty. They did hint that the storytelling is going to be a little bit more immersive for this year for storylines, so I'm really curious to see what they have up their sleeve for that one. But that's going to be all for today's video. I think these are massive changes for Diamond Dynasty. That's going to give everybody a bit of a breath of fresh air when it comes to the mode, and quite honestly, I want to exaggerate when I say this. This game is looking like a very promising game. We've seen really good changes for Road to the Show, really good changes for franchise, and now really good changes for Diamond Dynasty. And ultimately, I do think that this could be a top game of the franchise. If you're hyped for this, be sure to drop a like on the video, comment if you're hyped or not, and of course, as always, please subscribe to me. I appreciate y'all for watching this video. I'll catch you in the next one.